All right, back we are on SportsLine. Back to the phones we go as well. 737-7767 is the number. Bud has called in. Bud, how are you tonight?
Not too bad, Steve. How you doing, man?
Doing well. Thanks for the call.
I find it funny how we all talk about salaries now, but there was a year that Michael Jordan, when he had Tony Kukoc and Scottie Pippen and Ron Harper and those guys, Michael made $33 million, or Scottie made 2.7. Even Ron Harper made 4.5 or something, and then there was Tony Kukoc that made 4.5. It's so funny how we look at that now and see the disparity. But back then, Michael made 33, and the closest guy next on the squad made 4. What a big difference!
Yeah, no, that's huge. I don't remember or have those exact numbers sitting in front of me, but I do know things like that happened back then, and I know that guys took less money, and Pippen in particular took less money to be around Michael Jordan and to be on those championship teams. And you know what, Bud? It paid off for Pippen in the long run because he won 6 titles. He's a beloved figure in Chicago that has, endorsement deals and opportunities to do things around the city even today if he wants, and elsewhere as well around the country. And when they came out with the 50 greatest players of all time in the NBA, Scottie Pippen was one of them. Was Scottie Pippen one of the 50 greatest talents in the NBA? No way. But when you put him next to Michael Jordan for all those years to win all those championships, he looks like one of the 50 greatest players of all time because of what he could do next to MJ. So there are a lot of guys in that situation that knew, hey, if Michael Jordan's there, I can maybe take a little bit less, but ultimately we'll get a lot more out of the team. And that's what a lot of those old stars thought. And that's what I think is different about now is the stars of today, LeBron included, they're looking for the most money they can get someplace or the best roster they can get someplace and not necessarily thinking about what they can build around themselves. Hey, Bud, we appreciate the call. Let's move on to Philip. Philip, thanks for the call, man.
Steve, I could not agree with you more on LeBron James. LeBron James is not qualified to wear Michael Jordan's shoes. He's not qualified to tie them, and he never will if he continues to act the way that he acts. I don't know what he's going to do the rest of his career, but as far as love, LeBron James will never, ever reach the pinnacle that Michael Jordan built. And it's apples and oranges. It's not even a close race when it comes to integrity and team and all that stuff. Michael Jordan was the man, period. I would like to say one other thing about, you were talking about the college football playoff scenarios. Sure. I still say that SEC fans, I think it's funny how, they think that they act like if it weren't for them, there would not be college football. And I've reminded people before, the NFC in professional football won 13 straight Super Bowls. The NFL at no time thought to themselves, well, let's put 2 NFC teams in the Super Bowl. The SEC, the champion of the SEC should be one team in that playoff scenario, and that's it from that conference. They need to pick 4 champions from 4 different conferences and let the chips fall where they may. If they continue to powder puff the SEC and put them in favorable positions, the tide, no pun intended, will never turn in the SEC. It needs to be more fair. That's great. Celebrate. Y'all have been great. But you need to have one team from the SEC in that playoff scenario, and there will come a day where everybody's going to say, well, that's the team that's going to win it, and they're going to get knocked off. And that's when the tide will start to turn.
Yeah, Philip, I think that's a very interesting call. I think what is going to be fascinating to watch is how the criteria, if that's what you want to call it, will change for this playoff over the next several years. Everybody just wanted a playoff. Everybody just wanted to not have the BCS anymore, and I certainly was a part of that. Now we have it. Is 4 teams enough? Are we going to be satisfied at 4 teams? It's a long contract out there with 4 teams written into it. But are you telling me that if you went to ESPN and said, we want to make this 8 teams, you would be able to still have all the games, but now you get 4 more games? You cool with that? You tell me ESPN wouldn't jump at that opportunity? I just wonder if once we see this play out, is 4 teams going to be enough? Because I guarantee you, just like there's been debate over 2 and 3 in the polls many years in the BCS, there's going to be debate now between 4 and 5, maybe 3 and 5, or 3 and 6. Someone is always going to be left out. And so I wonder how quickly the groundswell will come to expand and go to 8, give more opportunities. How quickly the charge will come from the other power conferences that you allude to there, that it needs to be tied to some sort of a championship within your league. That if 2 SEC teams get in, like last year, Alabama would have gotten in a 4-team playoff as an at-large, even though they didn't win the SEC title. Both Auburn and Alabama would have gotten in. Will that upset everyone else around the country? Will the Big Ten champion say, wait a second. We're not getting in, but 2 SEC teams are getting in? That can't be right. So will that change things? Will a Pac-12 champion being left out change things? There will be change. I cannot imagine that what we have right now in front of us will be the ultimate end for this college football playoff. But it'll be interesting to see how quickly it takes place and what the initial concerns are. Staying on the topic of football, the Nashville Venom have had an incredible season. First year of existence in the Professional Indoor Football League. And the Venom have been the best team in the league. They've beaten every team in the league at least once, several of them twice. They've rolled through their conference side of the playoffs, and now they are in the championship game Saturday night, 7 o'clock, against Lehigh Valley over at Municipal Auditorium. A chance to cap off this spectacular inaugural season with a championship. Earlier today, we caught up with Billy Back, the team's head coach, to talk about this game and the run that they've been on.
How exciting is this for this team to get to this point?
It's real exciting. I mean, to come in to start late, have a team. We started late in January, and for our team to be positioned to be, champions of the league is what we kind of set out for. But I don't think anybody expected it besides the 27 players we had signed and the 9 coaches. To where we're at now, it's almost surreal to where you look back at the long, grueling 19, 20 weeks we've been doing this for, and we finally get to play the final game on Saturday. It makes it all worthwhile.
Do you know much about Lehigh Valley?
We played them earlier in the season. We beat them 53-38 at their place. It was our quarterback's first game, Charles McCollum. We had a good night. They like to run the ball. They got their backup quarterback starting, we know that, but they got a fast, physical defensive line. I know a couple of the guys that have signed a defensive line that, may give us problems. But for the most part, our offensive line's solid, handled them at their place. They're looking to come in, expecting to win as well. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a game. So, it's going to be a battle.
Did your guys kind of show you anything? Like, we were there for the first half, and that's seemed like one of the worst halves of football that I've seen you guys play this year.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong on that. There may have been road trips that I don't know about.
That was pretty bad.
But did they show you something that they can have the worst half of the football of the season and get the win, I guess?
Yeah, I told them, it's a bad time not to show up. It was our attitude on the sideline was calm. We knew we've done some things wrong. We fumbled, we threw a pick. It was ball security's thing we preach, and we Charles has had 31 touchdowns and 4 picks all year, and so to throw a pick early, to fumble the ball early, going in to score, put us down 2 possessions, and it's just a matter of time for our defense to stop the offense. So, and our guys' character, Walter Thomas, Chris Thompson, our leaders on the team, Corey Stewart, got everybody rallied up at halftime, and just really settled things down. And we went to take away what their best plays were. We took it away, and defense stepped up. I can't speak enough for our defense, the way they stepped up in the second half. It's a matter of time for our offense to score, because we got big play receivers, Philip Barnett flipping over the wall, making catches, Jordan Jolly making people miss in the open field. So it's a matter of time for us to score, and we're just waiting for that defense to step up, and punch them back in the mouth with Cabrani Mixon, our middle linebacker, number 11, the intensity he brings, and every time he tackles somebody's in their face, and it just, that's how our defense feeds. And so it was shocking at the first part, looking up, seeing it scored 24-17 or 24-10, thinking, this is the wrong direction we want to go. And in this game, anything can happen. Any team can win a game, because basically run the same defense and the same offense. It's just about what players you have and how, what position you put them to be successful. So for us to come out on top was huge, because I'm looking at the clock late in the game thinking, we were in a position to lose this game, because we missed a field goal. I should have called a timeout to give Christian enough time to get set. Had a guy late coming on the field, and they drive down, and just for Kenny Veal to make that last play, jumping up in the air, picking it off, was probably the best opportunity, best situation for us to be in at the end of the game.